Yo, what's going on, people? It's your boy Huncho, back at you again with another video. So we need to talk about these 4 separate stabbings that have been linked into one incident that happened in Birmingham City Centre last night, because I know on social media there's a lot of confusion at the minute. Now, if you don't know what's going on though, at around 12:30 AM on the 6th of September 2020, that would be this morning, officers were called to reports of a stabbing in the north of the city centre, that being Constitution Hill, and after this it's believed that the attacker moved towards the junction of Livery Street and Barwick Street in the Snow Hill area, where it was said another attack took place. After this, it's believed the attacker moved south through the city centre, and then police believe further attacks took place on Irving Street and Hurst Street. And it was said that the attacks are believed to have finished around 2 hours later at around 2:30 AM. It's believed that 8 people in total have been stabbed during these incidents, with police confirming that 1 person has died, but are not confirming at which location they died at. 2 people are currently in hospital in critical condition where they're being treated for their injuries, and 5 people have non-life-threatening injuries. Now, there's a lot of speculation at this time in regards to a motive behind the incident, with people claiming that it was gang-related. Also, people have come out to say that it was related, and because some of the attacks took place in the gay village area of Birmingham, people have also come out to say that this was a hate crime. The West Midlands police at this current time are denying that none of the motives listed are related to the stabbing spree, claiming that this comes down to one single person going on to stab people at random. Of course, this is an early investigation, so this could be updated, but as of now this is the case, and I'll be sure to let you guys know if this does get updated. So far there's multiple witness accounts, but one that's being showed on the news right now is of Mykonos bar owner Mr. Strefances, which is located on Hurst Street. Of course, that's where one of the attacks took place.
What did you see? A black guy, between 20 to 25, wearing a hoodie, a black cap. The hoodie was very distinguished because it had 2 white straps going from there, black trousers, and I've seen him actually stabbing the girl several times in the neck. I was only about 20 yards away, right opposite. He was a bit further up.
What did she say?
She screamed, he's stabbing me, but everybody thought, because everybody thought he was robbing her necklace or something, you know? But I've seen it, and I started screaming, and then he walked, he didn't even run, he just kind of walked out of the footpath, outside sidewalk. From sidewalk, he came on the street, in the middle of the street, and he started running, and then he was chased by sidewalk, the manager of sidewalk, and an Asian guy as well. They chased him, we started screaming, and they chased him all the way. And when they came back, they told us when they went to Eton, outside the Eton bar, they lost him there. But they saw him about 10 yards away, and the guy said to him, I recognize your face now, and I will be reporting to the police. And he just said, whatever.
Was anybody else injured?
Sorry?
Was anybody else injured?
It was a girl, and after we saw a guy as well, a bit further up. The guy was bleeding all over. But the police were straight away there, and a couple of officers we know from here that were attending there, and the ambulance came after a few minutes. The ambulance men came there. The ambulance could be driven there near to the victim because the road was closed on the night. That's what happened. It happened very quickly. But the guy looked at, you know, he wasn't concerned, he wasn't worried, he wasn't panicking or anything. He was just walking. You know, after he stabbed the girl, he basically walked. Obviously, you know, I couldn't go near because I saw the knife. I saw the knife actually, and I repeat that he stabbed that in the neck, nowhere else. What I've seen, it only took a few minutes. I heard the scream, so I looked around, and I can see a girl, you know, but that. Not very big girl, white girl, and I saw a guy, black guy, a hoodie. He was like, when he was stabbing her like this, he wasn't facing her. It was like she was against the wall like that, and he was like on the side, going like this. So it was very, very clear, because if he was against her, I couldn't be see everything. And everybody, I said, look, he's stabbing the girl. I said, no, he's robbing the girl. Everybody thought he was trying to take the necklace, you know, the way he was going. But he was stabbing her, you know, because she screamed. It was like very cold, and he wasn't even panicking. He wasn't, you know, reacting or anything. He just, after he stabbed her 4, 5, maybe 7 times, I think. I'm counting almost between 5 and 7 times. He walked as if nothing happened. He just walked, like he walked on the footpath, where he did. And then as he came the sidewalk, because the manager saw it as well, he started screaming at him. He went on the road, and then he didn't quite run. But the people chasing him, the manager from sidewalk, and an Asian guy that tried to keep a distance as well, because they knew he had the knife, was screaming, everybody's got a knife. So they went after him.
Also on top of the speculation at the moment is the fact that a woman has came out who had worked in the area, and she had claimed that gunshots had been fired when interviewed by BBC Radio 5, but again the West Midlands police have come out to say that no shots were fired in relation to this incident. Now again, there has been multiple witness accounts, but just like the one you've watched, they describe pretty much the same thing, and that is the man is said to have stabbed people and then casually walked off. Over the past few hours, the West Midlands police have come out with a press conference, and this is what they've had to say.
Good morning and thank you all. I'm here this morning to give you some information on a series of incidents that took place in and around Birmingham City Centre last night. Just after 12:30 last night, the police received reports of a stabbing incident up in Constitution Hill, just to the north of the city centre. Shortly after, a number of other incidents were reported in Livery Street, then coming down to the south of the city centre onto Irving Street, and then into Hurst Street. At each of those incidents, a number of stabbings took place. As a result of that, I'm sorry to say that one person has died of the injuries that they received. Two other people remain in hospital, critically injured, and are still being worked upon as a result of the injuries that they sustained during that attack. 5 other people received relatively minor injuries, some of whom have been discharged from hospital, and all of whom were treated for relatively minor injuries. Given the fact that we are still in the early stages of the inquiry, I hope that you appreciate I can't go into the details of those people who have been injured and clearly in terms of the fatality. What I can do is reassure you all that they are going to be supported and their families will be supported by specially trained officers. As a result of this, we have launched a murder inquiry. Clearly we're still in the early stages of that inquiry, but what I can say is that we are treating all 4 of those incidents as a linked series. We are searching for one suspect, and inquiries to identify and then trace that suspect are ongoing. Given the nature of the fact we're talking about a city centre, there is extensive CCTV footage to trawl and review. At this stage, we are unable to release any of the CCTV imagery, but as soon as we can, we will do so, because what we are going to do is make an appeal to anyone who was in the area at that time to help us trace and identify this subject. So if you were in Birmingham City Centre last night, sometime between 12:30 and 2:30 in the morning, in the areas I've described, so that's all the way down from Constitution Hill around to Hurst Street, if you saw anything, please contact the police. If you were taking any sort of social media photographs, if you have any video footage, please contact us and we will make arrangements via the West Midlands Police website for you to submit that evidence so that we can review it along with all of the other CCTV that we are currently trawling through. Clearly this could be a significant task, and so I would ask for people to bear with us whilst we do that. There are significant efforts taking place as I speak to trace this subject, and so all that we will say is that we have got a significant number of highly trained detectives reviewing the CCTV and reviewing all the other evidence that's going to be gathered from the scenes. The 4 scenes that I've described are all cordoned off, and they will all be subject to significant and forensic searching. Clearly our main objective at the moment is to identify that subject, and our best way of doing that will be to gather and secure all the evidence from the scene. At the same time, because we haven't caught this offender as yet, I know there may be some people who are nervous. What I will say is that there is a significant uniformed police presence, both armed and unarmed, within Birmingham City Centre today. So if people are coming to Birmingham City Centre, I would say to them, don't be afraid, but be alert. Clearly with all the stuff that we have ongoing around the pandemic, people are more wary of social distancing. But if you see people coming and approaching you who you're not happy with, then please do give them a wide berth. But what we are not saying at the moment is that Birmingham is not a safe place to be. Birmingham City Centre, there will be pubs, there will be bars, there will be restaurants and there will be shops that will remain open. That's why we're putting an increased presence in the city centre to reassure people who are coming to work in those places and people who may be visiting, for those who live in the city centre as well. So before I hand over to Mr Jameson, the Commissioner, I would just say to anyone, we will need your help, but we don't need your help in trying to approach whoever this subject might be. Leave that to the police. The way that you can help us is if you saw anything, contact us via the website, and there will be details on how you can upload that information into our inquiry room.
So this is what I find confusing about this whole situation. If the knife man started his knife spree at 12:30 AM, why was he allowed to continue his spree for the following 2 hours while making his way into more of the city centre? This is Birmingham at the end of the day. We're not talking a little town or anything like that. So I don't really get how, for one, he was allowed to do that, and for two, how he's managed to escape without police being able to track him down. We've seen, for example, in terror attacks, even going on the one that happened towards the end of last year, the police were at the scene within 5 minutes and had that issue under wraps, so I'm unsure what's actually happened in this whole situation. But as soon as I get any updates, I'll be sure to keep you guys updated on this one. But let me know what you guys think of this in the comment section below. Give the video a little like, and if you want the latest drill, street and music news out of the UK, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Huncho, and I'm out.